story first. Earlier today, tech major Google got the ball rolling on its big-ticket AI data center project in Visakhapatnam in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Top officials from the company, along with Andhra CM Chandrababu Naidu,
Today marks the first concrete milestone in Google's largest commitment to India's digital future, a foundational step towards realizing the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. This project represents a $15 billion blueprint to deliver a full-stack AI ecosystem. At its core is our gigawatt-scale data center campus, purpose-built for the immense computational demand of the AI era, powering services like Gemini and Google Search for millions, billion plus of Indians. We are proud to bring Google's best-in-class AI stack to India to help accelerate India's digital transformation. Crucially, this hub includes the America-India Connect initiative to deliver high-capacity, low-latency connectivity India needs to lead the global AI economy. By establishing Vizag as an international subsea gateway, we will add vital diversity from the existing landings in Mumbai and Chennai, increasing the resilience of India's digital backbone and improving economic security.
All of us has to write this day. 2026, 2026, April 28th. It will be remembered forever in the history of India, especially in the history of Andhra Pradesh.
Meanwhile, I got the chance to speak to Andhra HRD Minister Nara Lokesh on Google's big-ticket investment in Andhra, which also happens to be India's largest FDI investment. Lokesh told ET Now that the data center itself is on course for a completion timeline by August 15th of 2028. Here's more from that conversation that I had with Andhra's HRD Minister. Mr. Nara Lokesh, good to have you with us here on ET Now, and congratulations on netting India's largest FDI investment, Google's largest anywhere outside the US, its biggest in India as well. Cards on the table, AI data center right here in Vizag at Tarluvada. What does it mean? I believe 25,000 jobs at the construction stage, 200,000 direct and indirect employment ventures from the overall AI ecosystem. How significant is this for Andhra and the Vizag region?
No, this project is not just significant for Vizag and Andhra Pradesh, but it's a significant project for Bharat. See, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, we are able to bring about reforms that India has not seen to attract projects like this. So giving clarity on permanent establishment, giving clarity on tax holidays. So together we worked of landing this investment, and I believe this is just the beginning.
Right.
This is 1 gigawatt, but there's so much more to come. And for the first time, rather than outbound calls, we're getting a lot more inbound calls, seeking opportunities to invest in this entire data ecosystem. And this is just the beginning. It's not just about a server, right? The idea is, how do I get the entire cooling ecosystem? How do I get the server manufacturing ecosystem? How do I get the power electronics? How do I get the rack manufacturer? The whole 9 yards coming into the great state of Andhra Pradesh. And this is what will make this entire ecosystem more competitive and sustainable in the long run.
And we'll talk about those future opportunities in just a bit, because I definitely want to ask you about that. But timeline-wise, sir, how long do you see the project actually taking form and shape? When do you think we'll be all set for a launch?
The timeline has already been set on the dais by our Honorable Chief Minister, that August 15, 2028 is when we're going to get the Honorable Prime Minister here and actually open this facility and dedicate it to the nation. So timeline is already set for us. So we're working backwards from the timeline set by our Chief Minister. And if you know Mr. Naidu, he sets the timelines, we get it done.
You surely get it done. Let's talk about the project itself. Google has already said it will be a key core component of powering its Gemini services. It's their best-in-class AI data center stack. For such a project to take form and shape in India and in Vizag, surely it's a big deal, because for the longest time there was talk about undersea cable infrastructure being most likely taking place in a Mumbai or a Chennai. But for Vizag, one of Andhra's forefront cities to actually snag the project for itself. How important is this really for the city and the state's economic profile overall, Mr. Lokesh?
Earlier people used to search about Visakhapatnam in Google. Now Vizag has G in it, which stands for Google. So we are now powering Google, and it's very exciting symbiotic relationship that we have now built together. And this has just been a catalyst in the entire ecosystem, and it's really propelled Visakhapatnam onto the global map. And today a lot of Fortune 500 companies are looking at setting up their GCCs here in the great state of Andhra Pradesh, and in particular in Visakhapatnam. Right. So this is going to be a very, very important project for us. And it's really exciting times ahead of us.
And speaking of that pipeline of opportunities, RIL is another name that has also evinced interest in investing in Andhra Pradesh. In fact, when they invest, I believe the ticket size could be much larger than this one. In fact, also in the data center space. How excited are you about this project as well? And what's that pipeline looking like going forward?
It's not on paper. We have already completed SIPC. We're going to do SIPB and then bring it to cabinet. Maybe by mid of next month, that project will be approved and then subsequently grounded. That is the pace at which we work. We are not here to sign MOUs or bring announcements. We are here to execute. And that is the key differentiator that Andhra Pradesh today has compared to other states. See, we have Mr. Naidu as a brand. We are delivering on the promise of speed of doing business. While other states have double engine Sarkar, we have double engine bullet train Sarkar. So we have Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and then we have our Honorable Chief Minister Naidu ji. And both together are able to drive Andhra Pradesh like no tomorrow. And that's how we are able to land these investments that India has never heard of.
Speaking of bullet trains itself, you had Union Rail Minister Ashwini Vaishnav making some very interesting announcements, first of which, of course, is that Amaravati to Hyderabad, all of 70 minutes, significantly lowering down of the travel time there. In all, I think Mr. Naidu also said that 7 to 8 years is the timeline that you envisage for these projects to take form and shape on the ground. How significant is this for the rail connectivity of not just Andhra, but the overall southern region?
No, mobility is very, very important. It brings two great economies together. So if the bullet train between Bengaluru and Chennai will bring the two economies a lot closer and will energize en route all the smaller economies. So it could be a town, it could be a village, it will completely energize them. So mobility and this kind of high-speed transportation is very, very critical. And we have to learn that from our neighbors also. So today's announcement is very significant for India, especially South India, and more so for Andhra Pradesh, because from Calcutta all the way down, the eastern seaboard, Andhra will be the benefactor of this ecosystem. And connecting all the major cities is going to be very critical to bring in mobility to the level that the world has not seen. So under the leadership of Ashwini Vaishnav ji, already we are seeing a lot of change in the entire railway ecosystem. And I believe this is just the beginning, and a lot more will happen in South India and in India.
Last couple of questions before I let you go. Andhra has in the recent past been perhaps the only South Indian state that hasn't exactly stood with the others when it comes to delimitation, in a sense, in line with the central government establishments. You've copped some criticism for that stance, given the widening fears of lack of representation for South India itself. What is your party's position on this criticism, and how do you react to it, really?
No, I'm directly questioning the parties that did not support the bill. It's very clear that the Constitution has said that 2026 delimitation will be used to arrive at the number of seats. They said while the number of seats are fixed, we are not going to increase the number of seats. Delimitation will be based on the census of 2026. It's hard-coded into the Constitution. The recent amendments brought was an amendment to that, to say that the number of seats will increase whilst proportionate representation will be maintained. So while Andhra has 25 seats today, it will increase by 50%, like any other state would. So it's 50% increase across board.
Surely,
so South India would not have any negative effects. It's quite clear. The Honorable Home Minister stated on the floor of the House, he was agreeing to bring in an amendment to it. But it's unfortunate that certain political parties, for their own interest, political interest, have actually deceived South India in this matter. It's very clear, if we don't do the amendment, we'll be in serious trouble. South India has a lot more to lose. So it's important that this amendment comes. Only then the interests of South India will be protected. And NDA stands for Bharat. We are not merely about North India, East India, West India. We are about India. We believe in the fundamental integrity of our nation. And South India has an important role, as would East, North or West have.
And there's more news from the data center space in Andhra Pradesh as Reliance Industries is doubling down on India's AI and data infrastructure push with plans to set up the country's largest data center cluster in the state. The Mukesh Ambani-led conglomerate will invest roughly 1.6 lakh crore rupees to build a 1.5 gigawatt AI-focused data center hub near Visakhapatnam, complete with captive solar power and battery storage, making it one of the most energy-intensive and future-ready digital infrastructure projects in the country. Now, the project itself will be rolled out in phases, beginning with a 500 megawatt facility expected to go live by October 2028 and scaling up to full capacity by 2030. Once completed, the cluster is set to surpass even Google's proposed 1 gigawatt data center in the same region, underlining Vizag's rapid emergence as India's data capital. Back to Google's Andhra event then, where Union Rail Minister and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav made some key announcements for railway infrastructure in Andhra as well as South India. The minister said that India's proposed high-speed rail corridor would bring travel time between Hyderabad and Andhra's new capital of Amaravati down to just 70 minutes from the present-day duration of 10 hours. He added that the government's bullet train project between Chennai and Bengaluru would see distances between these two cities as well come down to just 73 minutes in travel time. The minister said these advancements were being worked on despite the centre copying criticism from opposition parties in South India who claimed that the union government was ignoring the region. Let's listen in.
As a country and as a civilization, but now we should not miss out on any cycle of technology. So that's why every part, whether it is semiconductors, quantum, AI, space technology, rare earths, everywhere our Prime Minister is pushing us very hard to take the lead in the technologies. I would like to salute and thank the vision of our Prime Minister.
South India, 4 cities, 5 crore population, biggest economy, that is Amaravati, Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad. When you are going to connect that bullet train, now we announce now very clearly these 4 cities with the timings, how much time, everything. I asked one more commitment from him. When you are going to complete? He promised me he is going to complete with 7 and 8 years. In between 7 and 8 years, 7 years time, within 8 years time, all 4 cities are going to connect. That is the vision he is having. That is the commitment of our Honorable Prime Minister is having. If they connect these 4 cities, that is the biggest economy. Within 1 hour, 10 minutes, we can reach anywhere to anywhere in South India with all these cities. And also he promised me one more thing. I'm very happy. Amazing work he is doing. All railway stations is renovating. And also all flyovers and also passovers, all these things, underground, these things, is working in a big way. 800 is going to clear within no time. And also from Kolkata to Chennai, 4-lane track, broad gauge. It is going to give us excellent advantage.
Shifting focus to Karnataka, our next global chip giant NVIDIA is doubling down on India and doing it in Bengaluru in a big way. The company has signed a massive 10-year lease for nearly 7.6 lakh square feet of office space at Bagmane Capital in Mahadevpura, making this its single largest office setup anywhere in the world. Now, this is not just another real estate deal. It's one of the biggest single-tenant tech leases ever seen in Bengaluru, underlining the city's continued dominance as India's tech capital. Now, the scale is significant as well. NVIDIA will occupy 12 floors with a total rental commitment of roughly 1,230,000 crore rupees over the next decade as it ramps up its engineering and AI capabilities in India. And the timing is telling too. As the global AI race intensifies, India and specifically Bengaluru is emerging as a critical hub for talent, R&D and global capability centers. Staying with more news from Bengaluru, ICICI Prudential Alternatives is placing a big bet on Bengaluru's office market with a significant chunk of its 2,600 crore rupee acquisition from RMZ Group tied to a prime asset in the city. Now, the deal includes a Grade A office property along Bengaluru's high-demand Outer Ring Road corridor, one of the most sought-after commercial stretches driven by global capability centers and tech majors. The Bengaluru asset, remember, is part of a larger portfolio buy spanning over 1.2 million square feet across Bengaluru and Pune, but it's the ORR micro market that stands out given its consistently high occupancy levels and strong rental traction. More importantly, the asset is already pre-leased, offering immediate rental income and underlining investor preference for stable, yield-generating commercial real estate. Shifting focus further down south, Tamil Nadu has clocked its second consecutive year of double-digit economic growth, with real GSDP expanding by 10.83% in FY26, reinforcing its position as one of India's fastest-growing large state economies. This follows an already strong 11% plus growth in the previous fiscal, marking a rare back-to-back double-digit performance. Now, the growth has been driven by sustained momentum in manufacturing and services, even as the state continues to attract investment across sectors. Revised data also shows earlier estimates being pushed higher, underlining the strength of Tamil Nadu's post-pandemic recovery. With this, the state is also tightening its grip on the top tier of India's economic powerhouses and is inching closer to its ambitious $1 trillion economy target. Meanwhile, in Bengaluru, a stand-up comedy act has sparked a political flashpoint after alleged supporters of the Telugu Desam party, or the TDP, disrupted a performance by Hyderabad-based comedian Sarath Uday. Now, the incident unfolded at a venue in Koramangala, where a group stormed the stage mid-show, demanding an apology over jokes that the comedian had made nearly 2 years ago about Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu and HRD Minister Nara Lokesh. Now, despite Uday saying that he had already apologized earlier, he was reportedly heckled and forced to apologize again on stage, forcing the show to be halted. I spoke to Lokesh about this incident. The minister said that while the nature of the heckling and interruption was not justified, comedians would do well to not joke about families. Here's more from what the minister said. Video has recently been going viral of some TDP supporters who were harassing a comedian, a stand-up comic in Bangalore, in fact, for a joke that he had made against you and your father 2 years ago, for which apparently he had already apologized for, claiming that he apologized again, and this was an interruption to his stand-up comedy act. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see the video, but what is your take on the incident itself, and how do you react to it?
See, I believe it's a very unfortunate incident. Definitely freedom of speech and expression does exist in Andhra Pradesh, no second thoughts about it.
Right.
But I would also humbly request people not to misuse it and take jokes against the women in our house. Because we take respecting women very seriously as a state. So there were jokes made against the wife of our deputy chief minister, which I think is very unfair and it's beneath it. So let's maintain that sense of decorum. It's very unfortunate that he was pulled up in that forum. I think there are other mechanisms in which we should positively engage with them. We will engage with them, no second thoughts about it. Andhra Pradesh believes in democracy, India believes in democracy, no second thoughts about it. If you look at in our states, unlike the earlier regime, we don't have any house arrests or anything like that. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression exists, but let's not misuse it. And please, let's not offend women, any woman. And that's my only request and ask.
And with that, it's a wrap on South Central today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon with more news and updates from the region. For the moment, it's goodbye from us.
provision that we made for Q4, which is a number of 270 odd crores. The